of habits. Okay. This is why we need to have habits that will help us build a good identity. And if you want to change any habit, you can't do so by just assuming it that you are like that or doing it once in a while. A famous author known as James Clear, who has written the book Atomic Habits, says that I might be stealing from Priya's script, but he says that you must go for the identity. Whenever you want to change a habit, you must go for the identity. For example, if I want to quit smoking, not endorsing any kind of drugs or alcohol over here, just saying that if I'm a avid smoker and if I want to quit smoking, and someone offers, if I'm trying to quit smoking and someone comes and offers me a cigarette, and I shouldn't be saying that I'm trying to quit. Instead, I should be saying that I don't smoke anymore, or I'm not a smoker. When you say I'm not a smoker, that changes your identity. So any habit that you want to inculcate, you can do so by making it your identity first. If I'm trying to become thin or lose weight, don't say I'm trying to lose weight. You can say that I'm fit. I want to be fit, or I want to be thin. This is how you have to start looking at yourself in the form of a new identity, and creating new habits becomes easier. So this is my take on the theme of today's meeting. With that, I would like to move on and introduce the guests today. First, I would like to introduce, I would request Sohani to introduce herself. She's my junior from college. I didn't know this. Okay, hi Sohani.
Yes. Hi Sanjana, it's great meeting you after I don't know how many years. So I am Sohani, I'm from BTM Toastmasters.
Okay.
And I've been to Dhwani a couple of times before, like that's long before the pandemic. So that's, I think, around 4 years back. So, and now I've had a lot of my club members also joining Dhwani. I have Vivek here and Vijay here, so all of them. And the reason why I'm here today is my husband is taking the role of timer and I am here to support him. That's about it.
Okay. You knew, okay, I didn't know Kavidas is your husband. You knew that I was in this club?
Yeah, I got to know it through him. So he said, I'm just taking the role of timer. So you had your contest last week, I think.
Right.
And so I just dropped by and then I saw you. I'm like, oh, she's my senior. That's when I told him. So very happy to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Nice. Got to know a lot of things today. That's very sweet of you to join and support him. Nice catching up.
Yes.
And thank you for being here. Next, we have Dinesh. Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello, hi, I'm Dinesh, and I'm from Bangalore. And I did my BCA, and currently I'm pursuing my master's in psychology.
Okay.
And then I'm a working professional. I'm working as a client analyst in corporate sector. And my goal is to become, to improve my communication skills. I entered this club. So one of my goal is to become a public speaker and life coach trainer. So that is why I changed my stream, and currently I'm just joined the master's in psychology. I hope this club will be great size to improve my communication skills and public speaking skills. It's really glad to meet you all in this evening.
Thank you so much, Dinesh. I hope that too. I hope you're comfortable with moving offline. We'll be moving offline soon. JP Nagar.
Yeah, actually, I'm preferable to offline, because in online I can speak up. In offline, I'm facing certain issues, so offline is very convenient mode for me.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank
next,
you so much.
Yeah, we have our guest speaker, Kirtana. Could you? We've been acquainted with you far too many times now, but please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. A very good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kirtana from Trans and Toastmasters Club 2. So yeah, I'm not new here. Been quite a few times. So many times. Okay. So, but still, I'm a student pursuing my BCom second year there. And yeah, I guess that's it.
Lovely. Thank you for joining us, Kirtana. Can we have Divyashree introduce herself?
Hi, everyone. So my name is Sri Divya. I'm from Hyderabad Entrepreneurs Toastmasters. I'm working for Capgemini as a business analyst. And the reason for choosing this particular platform is that my role actually involves a lot of communication and people management. So just to improve my leadership skills and people management skills, I have joined Toastmasters. Hope I'll get the same. And thank you for the invite.
Thank you, Shri Divya. It's great to have you today with us. Next, we have Durga Prasad. Kindly introduce yourself. We had you last week. Durga Prasad, you're on mute, or have you frozen? Okay.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, thanks, Sanjana. Hello, everybody. I'm Durga and I'm residing in JP Nagar. After many intend to join the group soon. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Durga. We are waiting to see you join as a member. Next, we have Rohit. Okay, you're also the speaker. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yes. Am I clearly audible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. This is Toastmaster Rohit from Guntur Toastmasters. Luckily, I found a speech slot in your club. Thank you so much for welcoming me here. Looking forward to a great meeting.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rohit. I would request the speakers to just rename themselves. The speaker 2 will be speaker 1 and speaker 3 will be speaker 2. Just putting it out there. With that, I would like to start off the meeting. Thank you for to all of you for being over here and making this meeting so special. We'll start off by introducing the Toastmaster of the day. She's already been introduced over here as a very sweet and diligent person. She's an HR by profession and a lovely friend. If anybody wants a friend, she's the person that you can reach out to. But I think the slots are full because I occupy most of the space of her friendship. Having said that, she's very sweet and nice and moving towards being bold and beautiful, I guess. With that, I would like to request Toastmaster Priya to take away the stage.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sanjana, for that warm introduction. It is my pleasure to be the Toastmaster of the day for yet another enriching, mind-expanding, and fun-filled meeting number 371. There's a famous person, F.M. Alexander. He said, people do not decide their futures. But then what do they decide? They decide their habits. And it is their habits which decide their future. This is true for all facets of our life, be it parenting, marriage, work, business, everything. So our brains, they're so unique. They cling to habits to the exclusion of even common sense. So, can you guess what percentage of your life is driven by habits? Perhaps in a single day? Answers, what percentage do you think you're driven by habits?
90%.
Okay, any other answers?
60%.
Sorry, 50. Dinesh?
60%.
Okay. Okay. So while we do not, sorry?
100%.
100. Okay, Sandeep says 100. Okay, I don't know if I've primed all of you for that answer. Okay, we do not have a specific percentage, unfortunately, but studies indicate that at least 40% of the things that we do, they are not actual decisions, but they are habits. Okay, and these habits are growing stronger and stronger by the day. They create neurological cravings that work through a habit loop. So whenever you speak of habit, the first thing that people think of is Atomic Habits and James Clear. But today I'm going to talk about Charles Duhigg, the author of The Power of Habits. Now, the good news is that we have the power to change the habit, even though habits kind of, they dominate our lives so much. And if those are good habits, it's good for us. If those are bad habits, then God save us. When I was, much smaller, I used to think why people smoke when they know it's a bad habit, it's not doing them any good, yet over and over again they're not able to break that habit of smoking. And then I adulted and I realized all my bad habits, and then I felt ashamed. I was like, why am I judging others when I myself are not able to break my bad habits of taking unnecessary stress, procrastinating, habit of doing things or which are not important in the moment, habit of not investing in myself, in my own progress. So that's where Charles Duhigg, he throws light on something called the habit loop. So he talks about 3 things which create that habit loop. One is a cue or a trigger. Okay. The second is the actual habit. Once you see the cue, and the cue can be different for you, me, it could be hours of unnecessary scrolling on social media, for example. What could be the cue for me may not be the cue for you. For example, I've had a bad day at work. My boss just gave me a negative feedback. For me, that's a big cue. Immediately, to make myself feel better, I start scrolling endlessly on social media. And then comes the reward. That's the dopamine which is working. It tells you that, oh, this feels good. It kind of deadens your senses, that mindless scrolling through the social media. And it makes you feel good. No? And at the end of the day, once that loop is completed, you still are no better than where you were when you started. But this habit becomes reinforced every time you give in to the cue. So according to Charles Duhigg, if you want to change the habit, you have to be determined to start working when the cue hits you. You have to recognize what are your triggers. Some people eat a lot when they are stressed. So for them, that stress is the trigger. A lot of people, they admit to me that, one of the things which is a big cue for them is rejection. It could be rejection by their family members, rejection at work. That is a cue. And then they take to unhealthy habits. So Charles Duhigg has come up with this concept. He's an American journalist and a non-fiction author. He's come up with this concept of a habit loop. And he tells us that you can use the habit loop to create or change your habits if they're not doing you any good. So instead of giving into the cue, look for cues which will help you form a healthy habit. For example, the moment you come back from work, keep your exercise shoes out. So the moment you enter your house, you see the exercise shoes, you put on your shoes, and then the loop continues. You go for a walk or a run. You get that high, that reward. And then that becomes a loop which will reinforce itself day after day. Okay. So on a lazy Saturday afternoon where we could have slept or entertained ourselves, we are here to build a habit to invest in our own progress. And we must thank that one person who's helping us build a great habit of attending a Toastmasters meeting and to polish our communication and leadership skills. No prizes for guessing who that person is. The founder of the Toastmaster movement, Ralph C. Smedley. He's had a great impact on the lives of all of us and millions across the globe. It's no easy task to have 16,000 plus clubs across the world in 143 countries. How many people will remember us after our death? But here we are, after almost 54, 55 years after Ralph C. Smedley's death, we still remember him in every Toastmasters meeting. Now that's an impact you and I also would like to have. So let's hear it for Ralph C. Smedley, the founder of the Toastmasters movement. For the benefit of guests and a refresher for members, here's a quick summary of the flow of the meeting. There are 3 important segments of each Toastmasters meeting. First is the prepared speeches segment, where people come prepared with their speeches. Today, we will listen to 2 speakers outside of Dhwani. The second segment is the table topic segment. It's hugely popular and equally feared. So here, within 2 minutes, you will prepare an exotic dish by using your creativity, the topic given to you, and your presence of mind. You cannot overcook this dish by speaking more than 2 minutes, and you cannot undercook the dish by speaking less than a minute. Okay. The third and the most important segment is the evaluation segment. How do we know how we are doing unless we get feedback from others? And that's what this evaluation segment is all about. Ken Blanchard actually says, feedback is the breakfast of champions. So here we have speech evaluators who will provide feedback to the prepared speeches, and they will dwell on the strengths and also the scope of improvement for each of the speeches. The most important person to take this meeting forward is the general evaluator. How do you describe someone who's good at everything, be it sports, extracurricular activities, or even, business? You just say her name aloud, and that's Sanjana. When I think of Sanjana, the first image which comes to my mind is that of a duck. Now you guys must be curious, why a duck? So she's like a duck who's so easygoing, happy-go-lucky, pleasant on top. That's how ducks are. When you see them in the lake, swimming in the lake, they're so peaceful and calm. But beneath the water, if you peep, they are paddling furiously. And that's what she does. That single-minded zeal and focus towards her goal is so inspiring. So put your hands together for the general evaluator of this session, Toastmaster Sanjana, and the president of Dhwani Toastmasters.
Thank you so very much, Priya, for that wonderful introduction. I would never imagine someone would call someone a duck and give a positive spin to it. I was going to take a class as to what have I done to you, but thank you. Thanks a lot. That's very sweet of you. Good evening again, guests and Toastmasters. I'm the general evaluator for today. Nothing is perfect. Everything needs improvement. That's what is the mantra of life. So I'm here to tell every role taker how this meeting can be improvised or made better from my view. So I'm here and I can't do this alone. I have a group of people who are going to help me, and they're called the Tackle team. I'll be calling them upon, and they'll be introducing their role for today. First person would be Kabitas, who is the timer. Toastmaster Kabitas.
Hi everyone. Greetings to Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today I'm excited to take my role as listener. First time in the Toastmaster. As a timer, I will be evaluating all the prepared speeches. I will be timing all the prepared speeches, evaluations, and table topics. I will also alert each speakers with how much time they are left with by showing the color of 3 cards, that is green, yellow, and red, which will also denote the specific timing. So let me quickly go through the timing rules. For the prepared speeches, you will be given 5 to 7 minutes of time. I'll be flashing the green light when it is 5th minute, yellow light when it is 6th minute, and red light when it is 7th minute. For the evaluators, you will be given 2 to 3 minutes of time. At the second minute, I will be flashing green light. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, I will be flashing yellow light. And at the third minute, I will be flashing red light. Coming to table topics, you will be having 1 to 2 minutes of time. At the first minute, I will be flashing the green light. At the second minute, at 1 minute 30 seconds, I will be flashing the yellow light and red light at second minute. So you will also be having a 30 seconds of grace time, by which you need to finish your speech or evaluation. If you exceed this time, you will be disqualified from the voting. Also, if you do not speak for the allotted time, that means you speak lesser than, say for example, in the prepared speeches, if you speak less than 5 minutes, you will also be disqualified from the voting. At the end of the session, I will be presenting the report where each of the speakers and evaluators timing will be mentioned. Over to you, Toastmaster Priya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kabir, and lovely report for the first time. Congratulations on taking this up. Thank you so much. Next, we have our counter Toastmaster Madhumita.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Sanjana. Good afternoon, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster and guests. Today, I'll be playing a role of our counter, and as a counter, I'll be taking off such notes of which the speaker will be uses some of those filler words during his or her speech. And some of those words are so like, but, etc., etc. At the end of the report, when the general evaluator asks for it, I will give the comprehensive report of how many times that particular speaker has uses such words. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Sanjana.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Madhumita, for taking up the role and for the introduction. Next, we have the last minute grammarian, Toastmaster Sandeep.
Hello, Toastmasters and guests. I'm Sandeep. I'm the grammarian of the day, also known as God. So since just like God, I'm also invisible today. I'm not in my presentable self to switch on my video. So pardon me for that. As God, I'll be watching for grammatical mistakes. I'll be taking down some good usage of words and phrases. So if I do any mistakes, there is a resident goddess, in fact, called Kokila. So she'll be taking over my role. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sandeep. And we usually have the word of the day, the phrase of the day, but since he was last minute, please pardon us. Finally, we have the listener, Toastmaster Prasanna.
Thank you. Very good afternoon, dear Dvanians. Most of my students are PhDs, at being mentally absent and then physically present. So we don't want that to happen to our club members. So I will be noting down all the important information, all the minute information from any of the speakers and ask questions near the end of the meeting to see if everyone was paying the attention. And if you don't answer me, you have to buy me temptation. If you answer me if you answer correctly, then you will get applause. All right. Thank you so much. Back to Toastmaster Sanjana.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Prasanna. That's not fair, but okay, I'll give you that. And for the audiences, just a disclaimer, he's a very, very strict paper setter. So please pay attention. With that, I'd like to hand over the stage back to Toastmaster Priya, and I'll be coming towards the end of the meeting. Thank you. Toastmaster Priya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sanjana. Now, it is time to start the most prepared part of our meeting, the prepared speeches segment. In Dhwani, we always attempt to learn from speakers outside our clubs because we don't want to be like frogs in the well. So therefore, from time to time, we always get speakers, external speakers, to grace the Dhwani stage so that our members can also learn from those speakers. Our first speaker is Toastmaster Divya, who's attempting her L1 P2 speech in the path dynamic leadership. Before I call upon Toastmaster Divya on stage for her speech, may I request the evaluator of her speech, Toastmaster Kokila, to read out the project objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priya. Our speaker, first speaker is Sri Divya. I hope I have her name right. And she's attempting her L1 P2 speech. The purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator. And the purpose of the speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. Over to you, Toastmaster Priya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kokila. A quick introduction on Toastmaster Sri Divya. She works in Capgemini as a business analyst. She loves to browse and cook. She's from Hyderabad Toastmasters Club. So whoever wants a taste of her cooking will definitely have to go to Hyderabad. She's going to speak about a topic of interest, her speech. That's the topic of her speech. So if you have good habits, you will have a happy life. That's what I'm thinking will be an outcome of her speech. But here we will wait to hear from her. Toastmaster Sri Divya, a happy life, Toastmaster Sri Divya. Sri Divya, the stage is yours.
Yeah. First of all, my apologies for this dim look. Because of the power cut issues, I am unable to put light on me. And so coming to the speech.
Yeah, that's okay, Divya. You can proceed.
Did you ever think that, oh God, why me? Did you ever felt dissatisfied with your life? Good evening, everyone. My name is Sri Divya. Today, I would like to share a short story about a raven. Once upon a time, a raven was very unhappy with its life. The raven was sitting on a branch of a tree and crying. Under the tree, a monk was sitting. Just then a drop of tear fell on the monk's cheek. The monk raised his head and saw the raven crying. Then the monk told, "Oh, my dear friend, why are you crying? What's your problem?" Then the raven says, "I am very upset with my life. Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. Nobody gives me anything to eat. Death is better than such a life." The monk's heart was filled with compassion and says, everybody goes through tough situations and we should try to learn things. We should try to make ourselves comfortable and we should try to be happy. But the raven kept on crying. So the monk told, "What do you want to become? Tell me. I can make you that with my mantra." Then the raven was happy, and the raven says that I wanted to become a swan. Could you please make me a swan? Then the monk says, okay, I can make you a swan, but first go to the swan and find out whether he is happy with his life or not. You do that, I'll wait here till you come. Then the raven happily flew away. Now it's searching for a swan. He went to the swan and told, how beautiful you are. You are as good as milk. You look very white in color. I think that you are the most prettiest bird and happiest bird in this world. Then the swan says that, my dear friend, I am not happy. There are so many colors in this world, but I have only white color. White is nothing a color. Hearing that, the raven asked, then whom do you think is the happiest bird in this world? Then the monk says, the swan says, I think peacock is the prettiest bird and it is most beautiful. Then the raven went in search of a parrot and finally he found a parrot. He went to the parrot and told that, you are the most beautiful and colorful I can see. I think you are the prettiest bird, as per my belief. Then the parrot says, I am not happy. At the same time, people lock the parrots and put them in the cages. I'm always afraid that somebody might lock me and put me in a cage. I think that peacocks are the prettiest birds in this world. Again, the raven flew away searching for a peacock. On its way, the raven found a peacock which was surrounded by hundreds of people. Raven went to the peacock and told, I totally believe that you are the most beautiful and prettiest bird in this world. But the peacock says, I always thought that I am the most beautiful and prettiest bird in this world, as you told, but then I am not, because people entraps me in the cage, and when people pluck those beautiful feathers and the colorful feathers which I have, it hurts me a lot. Just like you, a few days back, I have examined the whole zoo and came to know that the ravens are only the happiest birds on this earth and they are free. Hearing this, the raven flew away. From there, it reaches the monk and says, I don't want to become anything. I am happy with whatever I have. Thank you for everything. So this is what happens in our life too. We make unnecessary comparisons and become sad and ultimately we curse ourselves. United States 26th President Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt, once said that comparison is the main threat to the life. So with that, I would like to conclude my speech as everybody are happy actually, but then we should not compare ourselves with somebody else. That is where we get stuck. We feel insecure and then we fall into the vicious cycles of unhappiness. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Divya. That was a very impactful speech, peppered with impactful stories. Thank you so much. And I'm sure we had much to take away from your speech. Our next speaker is Toastmaster KSS Rohit. Before we move ahead with his speech, may I request the evaluator of his speech, Toastmaster Kirtana, to read out the project objectives.
A very good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kirtana and I'll be the evaluator for Toastmaster Rohit today. So he's presenting his level 5 first speech and the first project in that, and his pathways effective coaching. Before I start off the objective for the timer, the speech limit of the time is 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of the speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to apply his or her leadership and planning knowledge to develop a project plan, organize a guiding committee, and implement the plan with the help of a team. The purpose of this first speech is for the member to introduce his or her plan and vision. Okay, so all the best, Toastmaster Rohit, and I'll be presenting my report when called upon by the G. Thank you. Over to you, TMO.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kirtana. Toastmaster Rohit is a member of the Guntur Toastmasters Club. He's been in Toastmasters for 3 years. Today, he's going to deliver a very interesting speech with an extremely interesting title. Toastmaster Rohit, the biryani cooked with DCP points. The biryani cooked with DCP points, Toastmaster Rohit.
Toastmaster of the day, can you quickly confirm if I'm clearly audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Perfect. Thank you. The moment you heard the title, I know that I had all of you at biryani and lost all of you at DCP points. Now I know all of you are secretly agreeing, but with that Toastmaster integrity you're displaying on the outside, you all are having serious faces so that I can feel that no, these guys are really very dedicated and very respectful Toastmasters. That is why they are showing the dedication in their face that they actually care about the DCP points in the title. Okay, you can stop pretending. We all know the truth. I've been there. So what is this biryani cooked with DCP points? Well, it is nothing but the leadership that I have seen in my club, and I have been in my club for the act that I'm going to tell. A few months ago, particularly 1.5 term back, which in Toastmasters term is 6 months and another 3 months. 9 months ago, when first term of this calendar year, Toastmaster year started, I approached my executive committee members and we had a discussion about the DCP points of the club. Initially, for the first few months, the first couple of months, the club hadn't done a great part in achieving the DCP points. The problem was because the education goals were not being met. None of the members completing their projects, none of the members even not attending the meetings properly is the problem there. So when I discussed this with my executive committee members, actually I wasn't a part of the executive committee in the previous term, but I wanted to contribute to the DCP points of the club. As one of the founding members of the club, from the bottom of my heart, I care about the progression of the club. So that is why I wanted to contribute for it. And then I understood the structure of a club and how the different kinds of people in the club function. That is the ingredients for our biryani. There are different ingredients for the biryani, and when you are in a leadership position and when you're in a responsible position, you might feel like you are important, and for that biryani, you are the chicken. No. You are the vessel in which the biryani is being cooked. You are sitting on fire. That is what leadership is, and that is what responsible leadership is. You are sitting on fire, you yourself burning along with the members. Now, types of members that I have seen in my club after discussing with my executive committee about the DCP points, I have seen people who are already great, who are already doing the great job in their Toastmasters journey and will actually contribute to the club. You know, don't need to go to them and request them to take part in meetings, take part in contests. They are the chicken for your biryani. They are the key ingredient. And the executive committee, if you ask, they are obviously the rice, the main part. That is what requires for a full-fledged functioning of a club. Now, coming to the other ingredients, the spices, which are the other members, the inactive members, who you think are not the very important members in the club, but actually they are also important, because 1 or 2 members are the star performers who are the chicken that I have mentioned. With 1 or 2 members, you can only get 1 or 2 points at maximum. At maximum, you only get 2 points. But the other ingredients, other spices, who you think, we think, all of us who are not very active, we think that they might not contribute to the club very much. But the thing is, if you just go behind them, if you keep on nagging, that's the exact term, yes. If any one of you have done the VP education role or the president role, you exactly know what I'm talking about. If you keep nagging them and they keep taking roles, at least once in a blue moon, if they deliver a speech and finish a level, that gives a DCP point. If 4 members in your club who are inactive complete their level once, that gives a point. If 2 inactive members complete a level 3, that gives a point. So the inactive members are here important indirectly, which you might not be considering at the initial moment. So my dear friends, all these spices, the inactive members, they contribute together along with the other performers who are already active. All of them blend together in your leadership. That is when the club achieves full-fledged functionality. So that is what I had planned for achieving the DCP points for my club. And so far, it is going so good. And I myself have completed a lot of levels and have been contributing to the DCP points. So my dear friends, the DCP points that I used to cook the biryanis, because I had just put forward an act. I had just put forward a word that we require DCP points for our club. I want all of you to contribute more. So this is what I have put forward in front of all my club members by approaching them indirectly and directly. And that is the pretense that I used to make them achieve more, to make them contribute more, not only for the club's progression, but also their individual progression. So if you are also struggling, and if you are also planning to achieve something together with a team or with your club, within your club itself, the main thing is you need to blend all of them together. All the ingredients, from the most inactive ingredient to the most important ingredient. Everything, if they blend together, that is what brings you a delicious biryani. Just like how we as a team in our club are working together to achieve the DCP points in our club. And I hope soon we will achieve out of all the DCP points. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rohit. That was a biryani which we all, all the ExCom members definitely would love to have. Thank you so much. And before we move on to the next segment, we will take a short break of 5 minutes where we will have chai pe charcha. So get your own cup of teas and we can do charcha together for 5 minutes before we move on to the table topic segment. Okay. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Now we are back for an extremely interesting session, the table topic segment. The table topic master of today is a man of many talents. He's a networking software engineering leader. He's a coach, ICF certified. He's a counseling volunteer. And most of all, I think the most important qualification I can speak about him is he's a member of Dhwani Toastmasters. And all of us in Dhwani have benefited from his observations. He's very, very observant, and he will keep giving us feedback and tips which help us improve in one way or the other. And he does it without anybody asking him. That's the most wonderful thing about that. Imagine someone taking out time and observing you so closely to give you feedback on what you said or what you did. He hosted the Toastmaster contest for our club, and he did it with so much gravitas and panache that I had to say hats off. Please welcome the table topic master for today, Toastmaster Sudarshan.
Thank you very much, Priya. Such a wonderful introduction. Yede tumbi haadidenu andu nanu manavittu kelidiri alli neevu. This is a very famous song from Dr. G.S. Shivarudrappa. It means I sang with so much devotion and involvement, and you all listened with so much interest in, whatever little translation I can do. That's exactly what happened here in the table topics now. You imagine you are talking to your friend sitting in sofa in your living space. You talk just like that. That's all you need to do. And we all will listen to you with full interest. Today's theme is habit. So what it means is a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. I have chosen topics today all related to habits. Every table topic speech is for duration of 1 to 2 minutes with the 30 seconds grace period, and minimum is 1 minute. Any speech which takes less than 1 minute is not considered as qualified. And similarly, 2 minutes 30 seconds and above 2 minutes 30 seconds is not considered qualified. You can use personal stories, you can use any stories you heard, you can bring a quote, whatever you would like to do. It's all your wish. You can start somewhere and that can take you to second step, third step, but watch the timer's card so that you can complete within 2 minutes 30 seconds. With that brief introduction about what is table topics, and it's an impromptu speech, we'll move to the first speaker of the day. May I invite Toastmaster Prasanna, the energetic SA, to deliver the first table topic.
Yes.
Thank you. Toastmaster Prasanna, would you enlighten us by sharing what do you think are the different types of habits?
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Sudarshan, for giving me this topic. So honestly speaking, I don't know the answer for your question, but then what are the types of habits? So, oh my God. So, for example, like habits which we create, and then maybe social habits. If I have to divide the habits, probably I'll divide it into routine habits and then habits which are created by us, and then social habits. So I'm sorry.
It's okay, Toastmaster Prasanna.
You're doing wonderful, actually. Yeah, would like to carry on?
Sorry, I'll try next time. Thank you. Handing over to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Prasanna. Prasanna really set the different kinds of, he tried to categorize it, the societal habits and other things. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Prasanna. Now moving to the second speaker, table topic speaker. May I invite Toastmaster Samarendra.
Hi, sorry, I'm not. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, you are well audible. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you. Toastmaster Samarendra.
Yeah.
Could you please share with us why habits are important in our life?
So I can't help but remembering Stephen Covey here, one of the greatest exponents of habits and their impact on our lives. And he says, sow a habit and you reap a lifetime of achievement. So that's the impact of habits. So habits, as speakers before me discussed, that it's a loop. And well, I'll go away a little. I have a certain fondness for the army because I served there. In army, everything is habit. You get up at 5:30 or 5 o'clock as required. It's almost instinctive. You sort of get prepared and then you are on the field and then other things. Coming to the most important part of the thing is all the trainings are on habit. The habit is nothing to me but a continuation of something to make it a reflex for you. And that comes in very handy during battle. Sometimes it's almost impossible if you're not prepared. When a bomb explodes near you, people who are unaware might get killed. But when a guy knows a whistling sound is coming towards him and that's an artillery shell, he immediately takes cover. He dives into the nearest cover wherever he can get it. The same thing is with habits. I'm taking the flip side of the habits, how to overcome your fear. So that is called battle inoculation. So since some people here, I think Sudarshan himself is the coach, we know that habits can be destructive as well. Obviously, when you fire a gun at me, my instinct will be to duck, right? But at the same time, I have to advance. So there is a concept in the army called battle inoculation, or in most fighting forces. And what they do is deliberately they fire live rounds, but just a little above the head level when you're crawling, so that you lose the fear of crawling under an enemy fire. And of course, you cannot help it. If you hear a grenade blast, like I won't say I was fortunate. I was not very happy to hear that sound during my first week in a place in northern Kashmir called Kupwara. There was a grenade blast in the bus stand, which was a couple of miles away, but it was so loud and we could, like it sort of suddenly jars you. But over the coming weeks, got used to it. So habits can be good and bad. It depends. And how you overcome a bad habit, so much has been told in the literature about this. But when it comes to the fighting ethos, it's basically how you use a habit and how you get over the fear of a habit, say the fear habit. Thank you. And over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. So every time Toastmaster Samarendra, Colonel Samarendra, I think he'll bring in something from the experience of army, and this time was no exception. Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll move to the third topic of the day. May I invite our guest, Durga Prasad. Durga Prasad?
Yeah.
Thank you. Durga Prasad, Durga Prasad, the topic is, would you share about one or few of your habits? We'll talk more about it, your habits.
Okay. So a few of the habits in the recent past is which after many years I figured out that I was not doing correctly. So I had gained over 12 kilos of weight, and after trying to read a lot of information on proper diet, I figured out that intermittent fasting is a way of losing weight. And initially it was very hard for me to try and skip one meal a day. And but I have this general rule that any habit you try to inculcate for 21 days, it goes into your brain and you continue to follow it. So I tried to do it for the first 15 to 20 days and try to skip breakfast. And it became a habit for me and I got so used to it. And in the subsequent 2 months or so, I've lost 12 to 13 kilos. So that was one habit that I can speak of that I have inculcated recently, is to try and skip one meal a day so that you can keep a check on the calories that you're taking in. Other than that, it's just to add some kind of exercise every time. So keep looking for opportunities where you can take the stairs instead of using, and try to lift more. So these are the few habits that I've inculcated in the recent past that I can speak about. Thank you. And over to you, Toastmaster Sudarshan.
Thank you, our guest Durga Prasad. What a great presentation of some of the ways by which we can keep ourselves fit. Thank you. Thank you for saying those words. We'll move to the fourth topic now. May I invite again our guest Dinesh. I see a lot of energy.
Yeah, hello.
Dinesh. So the topic, Dinesh, what is that habit you love to start afresh?
So every habit which we like, it is a fresh, it is always be energized. Whatever the habit which we love ourselves, which we have passionate about doing it. So that is always a fresh thing. Now, as as previously, like Toastmaster said, now I'm also in fitness. Like from 4 months, I lost around 20 kgs and I love dancing. Dancing fitness is my most loved one. And then I never ever missed daily dance for at least 30 minutes a day. And I used to go for the gym. That is my hobby. And while working also, I used to listen audiobooks. That is one of the hobby which I freshly started that hobby. It's like very interesting and full of knowledge. And then I will find out the opportunities in every way. Wherever I get opportunity, I will grab that opportunity and never ever procrastinate that. I will try to do something. Like if I have laziness to go gym, I will make myself just we can go for the gym and just say hi to my friends. Then later on, my hobby will be continued. So that is my hobbies. I will always give time to it. Over to you.
Thank you, Dinesh. Thank you. Such an energetic speech.
Thank you so much.
We move to the fifth table topic. So may I invite Toastmaster Sohani. How do you pronounce Sohani?
Yeah.
Sohani. Yeah. The topic is, what is that one funny habit you heard or saw? Could you tell more about it?
You really put me in the spot. To think of a funny habit which I've heard. I cannot straight away, speaking out loud. I do not recall any funny habit or something, but one funny thing or a inquisitive thing about habits is that as much effort as it takes to make a habit, it's that difficult to unlearn that habit and get away from it if it's something damaging to you.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that I have discovered for myself recently. If you are kind of an overthinker, which sometimes I think I am, which I think a lot of people think they are. Sometimes they say, no, I don't think about it that much. And then when they tell that, they are actually overthinking a lot about that topic. So to essentially come out of it and to be conscious of the fact that you are overthinking or a certain habit is damaging to you. And once you start being conscious about it, it is quite interesting to know that, okay, you didn't have to think about it so much, or you didn't have to give it that much attention, because even if you don't give it that much attention, things are still fine. And once you have that realization, you feel funny about yourself that why did I spend so much time on that? Or why did I, I could have done something much more productive, but I ended up just overthinking about something. So I think not a funny habit though, but a funny thing about habits is that once you start undoing them, you discover that you could have done much more than, you know, sticking on to that dangerous habit. That's about it. I turned around your topic, but yeah, over to you.
No, thank you. Wonderful. I think the way you explained the funny thing about habit, very nice. So that reminded me, if I'm going for everyday morning walk, which I do, it's hard to stop. But if I stop for a few days, it's hard to restart. You know, I remembered that as you're speaking. Thank you. Great speech. We'll move to the next topic. May I invite Toastmaster Lakshmi? Are you there, Lakshmi? Yeah.
Yes, Toastmaster Sudarshan, I'm here. But the thing is, I won't be able to turn my camera on. Is that all right?
That's fine. Thank you. Suit yourself. Thank you. The topic for you is how to move away from an unwanted habit. How to move away from an unwanted habit. Could you give some tips, some ways to help us?
Definitely. When I was 16, well, let's just say till I was 16, I had a very gross habit. I used to bite my nails, I used to chew them and swallow them. There were times where I bit so hard that my fingers used to bleed. I used to go to office wearing band-aids around my fingers. Yeah, it's true. Sanjana, don't give that expressions, please. Why I wanted to talk about this gross habit is now I no longer do that. How that happened is I saw my friend's nails, which was so beautiful. She painted those nails and I was like, I looked at my nails and I could see the comparison. I mean, I did not like what I was seeing. I wanted to stop it, but I couldn't because that's an involuntary action. It's happening automatically. It's not in my control. So I've talked about this with my mother on how to control this, and then she gave me a tip. If you want to stop putting your nails in your mouth, all you have to do is paint them. It doesn't matter if your nails are not long or not looking beautiful, just paint it. And I painted it. After some point of time, I stopped biting the nails. But even in between, when the nail paint is on, I used to chew as well. But the one thing that helped me to stop this habit is learning the pros and cons of doing it. When I learned the pros and cons, well, I see that there are no pros at all. There are only cons. When I got to know about the cons, my body and my brain automatically stopping me from doing it. So Toastmaster Sudarshan and everybody, if you want to stop a habit, all you have to do is learn the pros and cons of doing it. If you do, then you will automatically stop it. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi, for those very interesting tips based on from your personal experience. Now we have a very unique position here with all of you have spoken, all of us have spoken at least once in this session. That's very nice, heartening. Now we'll move to the next topic. May I ask Kabir, would you like to try? I can time for you. Would you like to try?
Sure.
Thank you. So the topic, Kabir, is, can you tell about one weird habit you heard or saw?
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudarshan. As soon as you said that, a weird habit which popped into my mind. This was when I was in Udupi, when I was in school. So we had one house for rental purpose. That was in the first floor. So there was a family who were staying in that house. So this thing happened like one day my mom was not at home, mom and dad were not at home. So after coming to school, my mom asked to stay in their house, in the rental house. So I thought, okay, let me go there and stay. So, as soon as I come from school, it's habit of me to, wash my feet and wash my face and all. So the aunt who was there in that house, right, she asked me to do so. And I went to the bathroom. And when I went to the bathroom, it was a commode, and that old system commode was there, right, where the tank will be there. On top of that tank, I saw that there were so many magazines on top of that water dispenser. So I was like, it was like very weird for me. Like, what kind? Who keeps the books in toilet or in the washroom? So then I came out and I said, I like laughing, with the laugh. I said, Auntie, why have you kept so many books over there? So then she said me that uncle, like her husband. So whenever he goes to the washroom, he reads the magazines over there, and so that's how he spent the time, and he takes a lot of time in the bathroom. So it was all like Taranga and some of the Kannada magazines stuff. So this is one of the weird habit which I came across. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you, Toastmaster Sudarshan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kabir. And your explanation reminded me my initial such a surprise expression when I was in the US. I could see a lot of newspapers.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I remember that. Thank you. So we'll go to the last topic of the day. We have time, Kabir. We have still time available. Or TMOD, Sanjana, Priya, do you have?
Yes, we have time.
One more
session.
One more topic. Okay, cool. So I'm going to give the topic to yourself, Toastmaster Priya.
Okay. Yes, Toastmaster Sudarshan, I'm ready.
Thank you. How to develop a new habit? Can you give us some ideas?
Okay, I read this when I was doing the research on this theme. So first, the number one way you can develop a new habit is, of course, why do you want to develop the habit? To understand the why behind it. When you know why you want to develop a new habit, is it to improve? I'm sure it's to improve yourself, make yourself better. You can also pair it with a habit you want to lose. So they say that if you have a bad habit which you want to give up, then instead of trying to just remove it, you replace that habit with some new habit. So that the time and space available for the bad habit, when you remove it, that space you can use it to build a new habit. So that's one of the things which came up to me during research. And I'll give you an example also that 2017, my father passed away. And at that point of time, post that 6 months, I was working, and then I took a break. And when I took a break and I was at home all day long, I realized how difficult it had been for my mother, who was at home. And since then, the first thing that I took up is to make sure that every moment with her, I must entertain her. So I'm otherwise a very uptight person. I don't open up to people. But at home, I'm just this crazy girl, because my only objective is to make my mom laugh. And I achieve it by dancing really badly, by singing even worse, and, kind of talking all kinds of crazy things. And at the end of the day, somehow, being able to help her move out of that phase of grief, because, they'd been together for 42 years, and it was very difficult for her to come out of that whole thing. And till this date, I think I'm the only person among 5 siblings who can make my mother laugh. It's not easy to do it, and I still continue to do it. It's a new habit I built. And it's working well for me. So I challenge you to pick up a habit to make one person in your family happier than what they are. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Tosma Priya, sharing from your research to your personal experience and also leaving a very powerful message to make at least one person in your family happy. Wonderful. Thank you. So with that, we come to the end of the table topic speeches. I just want to leave with you one statement from Aristotle. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. With that, I'll hand over the stage back to Toastmaster Priya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sudarshan. In this table topic, we saw a lot of members sharing what they were able to get rid of and how they became better by dropping their bad habits and inculcating new ones or challenging themselves, be it Toastmaster Durga, who spoke about his weight loss, Toastmaster Lakshmi, Toastmaster, and all those who spoke about weird habits, whatever they noticed, their tips and tricks how to deal with habits which they think are problematic. That was a very interesting session. And the fact that you could help each speaker bring out those aspects, that was really wonderful. We now have come to the third part of this meeting, the evaluation segment. It's like waiting for the report card. Do you remember that time in school when you have given the test and now you're waiting for the report card? You're waiting for those words of appreciation, for that little things where someone tells you this is what you need to do to become better. And that's what the evaluation segment will do for each of us in this meeting. And the person who's going to preside over that section is our president, Toastmaster Sanjana, and the general evaluator for this session. Toastmaster Sanjana, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Priya. I had a wonderful session. Let's start off with the evaluations. We'll first have the first evaluator evaluate the first speaker, that is Toastmaster Pukla.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjana. I here now present my evaluation of our first speaker, Toastmaster Sri Devi. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Sri Divya. Sri Divya, who has attempted her L1P2 speech and the title being A Happy Life. Congratulations and kudos to you, TM Sri Vidya. The start was extremely good with a question to the audience where you immediately connected. And that question was, oh God, why me? And that, I think, it's struck a wonderful start note that all of us, included me, have thought about this a number of times. Oh God, why me? So that was an excellent beginning to your speech. And then another plus point in your speech was that you stood up and spoke. And that is one of the hallmarks of rendering a speech at Toastmasters. Narrating a story with a great moral was yet another plus point in your story. So these were some of the highlights which are really appreciated, and you carried it off extremely well. I would like to give you a few points wherein you can note them down as suggestions or recommendations to take your speech to the next level. Now, in the story that you narrated, there were a lot of characters: the raven, the monk, the peacock, the swan, so on and so forth. This could have been done probably in the form of a role play, positioning yourself in at different places so that it would have given you an opportunity to experiment with hand gestures, facial expressions, and also with a lot of other things, including eye contact with the audience. This is one of those areas which I feel will help you improve to take your speech to the next level. Also, you could have definitely tried to implement a little more of vocal variety in your speech. And also, another point that I have noted down is this vocal variety with a little more of energy would have added a lot of impetus to your speech. This is what I felt. These are the two strong recommendations and suggestions I have for you so that your speech will go to the next level. And to summarize the whole thing, your speech was a commendable one. It had a strong message, and you even quoted President Roosevelt that comparison is the main threat. So congratulations to you on your speech once again. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kokila, and congratulations, Toastmaster Divya, for completing your speech. And Kokila, this is your first evaluation, so that was a really great job done, very commendable. I really loved all your points and beautiful structuring. You followed the sandwich method, that is lovely. To add to what can be improved in your evaluation, I would like to say that because the speaker, it's usually advisable to add more positive points for the speaker so that they're encouraged to come and speak again. So you seem to have been given, I mean, you gave a lot of points on the delivery aspect of the speech. You didn't really get into the depths of the structuring of the script of the speech. There were a few areas that you could have seen on improvement. The first thing is, for positives, you can talk about how the intent of the speaker was very nice, and that came across. Speaking about the feelings, what they made you feel is very important, and that is something that the speaker can take away as well. So the intent of the speaker was really good, and the conclusion, I kind of felt like you missed upon speaking about the conclusion. What is the take-home message? That is the entire purpose of giving a speech, is what did you make the speaker feel? So it's always advisable to comment on this, what you felt about it. In my opinion, the intent and the conclusion was really good. The structuring could have been better. This is some things that you can point out for the speaker. The flow of the thoughts and the connectivity of the script, all of these things are some things that you can ask the speaker to improve upon. Those are my observations of the speaker as well as the evaluator. Otherwise, both of you did a wonderful job today. Thank you so much. Moving on to our second evaluator, Toastmaster Kirtana. Can I please have your evaluation?
Being a responsible leader is not chicken and biryani, but a vessel on fire containing biryani. Biryani, biryani, biryani. Okay, I said it 3 times because to tempt you all more and more about the biryani. So, yes, sir. It was an amazing speech which made everyone hungry, very hungry after a lunchtime. So, taking this as your, taking biryani as a main thing, I would like to divide this evaluation in a little different matter. Let me take your whole speech as a biryani, the good points in your speech as a chicken, and the points to improvement as masalas in that. So coming to the main point, so the title of the speech, as I've known till now or attended many workshops of ISE and other things when the contests were coming up, as I've heard, the speech title is the main thing which attracts everyone. And I'm very sure that as soon as people heard your title, everyone was so interested. What is this chicken with DCP points? Oh my God, like this. So that people were connected to you very easily, and you were able to grab people's attention very much easily. Now coming to the chicken points. Oh my God, the way you explained the difficulties of getting the DCP points, and you pitched in your points and your way to get people into this and achieve those DCP points, not only because of the club, even for their personal improvements. I can say you were very much confident in presenting a speech, and you were very much clear to the audience. And like we never had this doubt, like what is he talking about, or easy out of track and all those things. So your main plus points were you can easily grab audience attentions, and your topic and relativity to biryani was very amazing. Coming to the very main thing, the purpose of your speech. The purpose was your speech to present a plan for your first speech, and kudos to you on completing this purpose. You very well served the purpose according to me. And then, yes, I can say that your topic was amazing. Your structure was great. You just went on a flow. But still, there are some spices where you could improve yourself a little bit. I can say that maybe you're representing your level 5 speech. So you could have stand up. It would have given more impact to your speech. Use more gestures like this. I know we're on a virtual platform, but the gesture is one of the other main important part of presenting a speech and grabbing the attention. Voice modulation, in the sense, when you said that, the same example sentence, and one of my favorite sentence, that being a responsible leader is not being a chicken, and that sentence, you could have even improved it like a little up and a little down, where it would have created more that curiosity in audience. So overall, your speech was amazing. I guess that biryani was well cooked, and everyone, it tasted very nice because everyone liked it. So congratulations on that, and all the best for your upcoming speeches. Thank you so much. Back to you, the G.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kirtana, for that wonderful evaluation. I want to commend you upon metaphorically delivering your evaluation. That is one of hallmark style of a great evaluator. So you borrowed the same script of the speaker and you embellished it with your evaluation. That is really well done. Your delivery is impeccable. There's no question on that. What I would just suggest you is, during the opening, you seem to be talking about something. Try to make it a part of the evaluation. Your opening, you want to keep it strong, but try to make it a part of the evaluation. Give a quote or something that is more relevant to your evaluation rather than speaking about just a random quote over here. And the other thing is, you seem to be dragging on one point for far too long. That might extend your time limits. Try to keep it short. Give one example if there's a point of improvement, and give one example of why that point is good. If you give 2-3 examples, that is simply eating away your time and making you lose chances of giving more points of speaking. So as an evaluator, it is your sole purpose to make the speaker improve, not just give a beautiful evaluation. So just focus a little more on giving more points for the speaker to improve upon, or highlight his or her good points, rather than giving 2-3 points examples for the same point. I hope I made myself clear. Otherwise, I'm very sure that you're going to be a great evaluator in our future. So thank you so much. And it was great having you here. With that, let's move on to our Tag L report. First, can I hear from the timer, Toastmaster Kabir Das?
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Sanjana. So the report is ready. So we have a couple of disqualification in table topic speakers, but rest were good. So I have prepared a sheet. So let me share my screen. Where do we share the screen?
1 second, let me.
I gave the permission.
Okay.
Okay. So please go through it. I hope everyone have gone through their timings. Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjana. Over.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kabir. And for a first time timer, you've done a fabulous job. I'm looking forward to seeing what more roles you are going to amazingly do. And next we have our counter, Toastmaster Madhumita.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen first. So is it visible? Can you all see my screen?
Yes, Toastmaster Madhumita.
So, well, here is my report. So the most usage of filler words by Kabir. I know it's his first time, so I have observed like he started with so which a little distracted by. I mean, I'm sure I was distracted. I'm pretty sure that the audience also was distracted. So I just wanted to tell him like just be careful when you speak next time, and I'm sure you're going to improve because I know it's your first time, so it's very tough because I was also sailing the same boat previously. So I'm definitely, I mean, if you speak more, then of course like you will get improved. Otherwise rest of, I mean, everyone has used except Sudarshan, Kokila, Dinesh, Kirtana and Rohit. So, I mean, great job to you guys. I mean, they have not used a single filler words. So that's all. So I'll just keep it for a few minutes so you guys can see. Okay. So that's all. I mean, I'll just stop sharing them. Thank you. Over to you, Sanjana.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Madhumita. I know it's not an easy job to pay attention to everybody's filler words and crutch words. Kudos to you. Great job. Thank you again. With that, let's move on to our next Tagel team role player, grammarian, Toastmaster Sandeep.
Thank you, Sanjana. Grammar is very essential for any language. It's like no ball in cricket. You may be pitching the ball correct, but if you're overstepping, it's a no ball. It's not valid. Similarly, in language too, you may be using good diction, phrases, idioms, so on and so forth. But if you flounder on grammar, it's not considered as a good speech. And what a coincidence, we have habit as our theme, because most of our grammatical mistakes are habitual. I've seen people using sentences like one of my friend, one of my friend, and then more, better. So these are all these are all some of the habitual mistakes we do when we speak. And with that, I want to walk you guys through my report. So Sanjana used words like meticulous, Kokila used eloquence, Priya used a lot of good words, diligent, mind expanding, enriching, procrastination, dwell, happy-go-lucky, panache, all beautiful words. It should be one of my goals, not one of my goal. It should be, did you ever feel? It's not, did you ever felt? Most prettiest, it should be prettiest. You can't use two superlative degrees. It's not everybody are happy, it's everybody is happy. And Rohit used phrases like bottom of the heart, once in a blue moon. Samrendra used some quotes like sow a habit and reap a lifetime of achievements. Sohani used inquisitive. Sudarshan used a quote by Aristotle, excellence is not an act, but a habit. Over to you, Priya. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandeep. It's over to me. And I can't believe you were hesitant to take the role because you thought your grammar is not up to the mark. That must be sweet. Thank you for taking up the role and doing a great job with it. Finally, we have our listener, Toastmaster Prasanna.
Okay, so here are the questions. Now, who, according to Toastmasters Kokila, is a good listener?
You.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. Temptation, remember.
No, you'll get applause. If you don't answer, I'll get temptation.
Two-way street.
Okay, now, how did Toastmaster Kokila describe Toastmaster Priya?
Intelligent.
No,
No. Okay.
Dedicated?
no. Yes, Kokila ma'am, you can answer.
I will.
Okay.
Eloquent, I think she said.
Yellow fence, ma'am.
Eloquence.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And the other one I told her was she has excellent screen presence, because when she's on screen and when she's, what do you call that, highlighted, focused, you can see the whole screen occupied by Priya's pretty face. And that's what is called screen presence. And so everybody's attracted towards, you're forced to listen to her. So she has all those expressions and highly expressive, and that's why her screen presence is marvelous.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now, Toastmaster Priya, Toastmaster Priya during her TMOD, she was talking about that theme. So someone gave this answer. 45% of the habits will make our day. So who was that?
Oh my God.
You said 40%. You were?
Dinesh.
It's no one.
Oh, yeah. He said 50%.
Syllabus Padasi is out of syllabus.
I know this is a
request.
Googly.
Yeah.
Googly ball.
Okay. So finally, the research says it is 40%. So 40% of the habits.
At least.
Yeah. Then what is mantra of life according to Toastmaster Sanjana?
I only don't remember.
What did you
We
say?
can say anything.
Okay, nothing is perfect and
Yeah, it needs to be improved. Oh.
nothing is perfect and
This
And
is
we need to learn.
everything requires improvement. Correct? No? Okay.
Yes.
Next question. Why DCP points are not achieved in Rohit's club?
Because he didn't give them biryani.
The education points were not getting met.
Yeah. Okay. Then, who is the man of many talents?
Sudarshan.
Yes, correct.
Sudarshan ji.
Then, excellence is not dash, but it is dash.
Excellence is not a
Accident,
habit.
but a habit.
Not a habit.
It's a habit.
Yeah, it's a habit.
Told by Aristotle.
Yes.
Excellence is not an act, but a habit.
Yeah, correct. That is a correct.
Told by Sudarshan in Dhwani meeting.
Okay.
Going back to that.
Invisibly, Aristotle was there at the back.
Okay. Why was Parrot unhappy?
Because he was caged.
Okay. Then why was Peacock unhappy?
People plucked its feathers
and
caged it.
Okay. Why Parrot was unhappy?
You told.
You asked.
Did you ask that? No, just now.
Oh, how the? Okay, fine. Sorry. I'm very happy now because I'm getting all the answers. Okay, now tell me why Prasanna is unhappy.
He couldn't cut
He's
anyone.
not going to get
Everybody
temptation.
asked.
Yeah, that's correct answer. Okay. What is the first word that is spoken in the second half of the session and by whom? Think out of the box.
This time,
Come again.
Prasanna-
Come
this time
again,
Prasanna-
please.
Welcome back.
No.
Priya only.
Second session. Okay, Priya. Okay, but then what is the first word? I don't know whether Priya is correct or wrong answer. I don't know that. Let's see.
I think it's okay. She said, okay, now let's get back to the session. I think it's okay.
I think she's mentioned something. We are done with chai time. Something she said.
She said, before going, she said, chai pe charcha. And then after that, I think chai is over now. Let's all get back to.
So this is the last question. So tell me the correct answer, but I will give one clue that's not Priya.
What? This was the last question?
I spoke.
No.
Okay.
What is the last question?
Yeah, ma'am, this was the last question. What was the first word that is spoken in the second half of this question?
What was the first word spoken?
Recording started.
Yeah, that is the correct word.
Hey, that was not spoken. Come on. That's a
an
recorded
automated.
voice. Oh, my God. Oh, no, this is not any googly.
I'm going to tell one thing. This time the transcend question paper set by Prasanna sir is going to be very tough.
I know.
I'm
out of
starting to
syllabus.
understand the question paper setter these days.
Full of googlies.
Kirtana, are you listening?
Okay. I think I'm done with that. Okay. We'll go with my last question. Who, according to Rohit, are the spices in Toastmasters?
The non-active members.
Yes, non-active members. Thank you. And go over to Toastmasters.
You have something that's called 2 last questions. I thought always last meant just one. You're giving a new definition to that word last.
And now he'll again ask the third last question.
He's the teacher. He needs to keep the students on.
And he's
course.
very good at he's very good at manipulating all that, according to me.
So Toastmaster Kokila teachers are like that.
Transcend teachers are like that.
Get back.
Okay. Okay, Toastmaster Sudarshan, thanks for that. Let's all get back. Thank you, Toastmaster Prasanna, for that wonderful session of a listener. A lot of out of syllabus, but I think I win. I need a temptation because I got the last answer right, and no temptation for you. Anyway, we had a lot of fun in today's session. I thoroughly enjoyed today's meeting, and I hope all of you share this feeling. Let me start off with what went well and what can be improved. Toastmaster Prasanna, as the SA, opened the meeting and we were on time. He read out the rules very well, and that was impeccable. And I have nothing to add to how well you started the meeting. You have become seasoned over time and you come with a lot of energy. Even if people are sleeping or had their siestas and came back, they would be become awake by your voice and your energy. So thank you so much. Although today's meeting, you didn't quite speak about the theme of the meeting. So you can choose to do so. Since all 3 of us will be speaking about the theme of the meeting, the SAA and the presiding officer, as well as the TMOD. Try to come up with a different way to speak about the theme of the meeting. Share your own personal story or your experience so that it's not repeated. The same thing is not repeated by all the 3. So that was area of improvement, but you're a great speaker and your energy is contagious to the club. So thank you so much. Next, the presiding officer, that was me. I don't know. I would leave it to the audience to tell if there was any room for improvement or if things went well.
Yeah, it did. Everything went well.
Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster.
And playing a double role is not an easy job. So you played both the roles extremely well.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kokila. I'm open to any feedback that I can take to inculcate in my future presiding speeches.
I'm still, I'm not equipped or I'm not qualified to give feedback to that extent. No, right now I'm at the level of appreciating whatever I get to listen to or whomever I meet over here. I'm still at that level. I have to, grade myself up to be an evaluator or giving some feedback and things like that.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kokila. You're just too modest. That's all I would like to say. Next, we have the Toastmaster of the day who came up with a beautiful theme called Habits. It was a lovely, thoughtful theme that we all could relate to and we would want scope. There was always scope and room for improvement. So we learned a lot about that, how we can improve, and great job on taking a different take. I obviously Googled atomic habits and you went with the power of habits. So that was good. I was scared that we would both be speaking about the same thing. So I really love how much research you put into this so that you don't speak about things that are already aware to the layman audience. And that's commendable. Wonderful job done there. And you had a great introduction for the speakers that you knew while you were introducing me. I think that was beautiful. That was beyond beautiful. But for some reason, when the speakers who were from the outside club came in, the introduction fell a little blank, fell short a little bit. Maybe you can try to dig deep into their personal lives and come up with the same level introduction. That was one thing that I would suggest. And also you spoke about Radhaswami's medley, all the required boxes were ticked well. One thing that I would like to say is, since this is kind of a research, you're giving information and not a story, you can probably include a small story in between so that the audience attention is still intact with you throughout your TMOD speech. Otherwise, people tend to zone out. That's something that I observed. I know you're very much for teaching and improvement, but you strike the right chords only when there's a personal story or a story that you can deliver so that it sits well with the audience and they remember your TMOD speech for the rest of their lives, or there's some actionable improvement. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Priya. That's all that I would like to say. And you're a great speaker. I have nothing much to add. Next, we had the TTM, Toastmaster Sudarshan. Great job done there, Toastmaster Sudarshan. I know it was last minute and you definitely took it up. In fact, all the roles were last minute. That is a general disclaimer. Kudos to all of you for taking up the roles. And lovely opening. We could listen to a song today after a very long time from one of our fellow Dhwanians. That was really beautifully done. And you also gave an example about, you made the speakers comfortable by telling them how to give the speech, quoting you as speaking to a friend, that's how you should go about giving a speech or table topic is something that you made them really comfortable. Kudos to you about that. The speakers did a great job. They were able to pivot some things and give a great speech. So you connected the dots really well after each speaker, whatever you said, that was also very beautiful. You connected it with your own life and gave gems and here and there. So that was really good. One point of improvement though, there were some topics that was really difficult for a few members out there. Try not to give topics that are like an essay or a research. For example, the topic that was given to Prasanna was different types of habits. That's an essay or a research topic, and not everyone would be acquainted to think in that direction or would have looked upon such topics. So try to keep it light so that they can easily connect it with their personal lives. So not everybody is eloquent with research topics. Speaking about your life, you can talk about it anytime, any day. So make sure that you give topics that are more relevant to your own life. So that is one way you can make all the speakers comfortable. Otherwise, a great job done. Thank you so much for taking up this role and giving us your song today. We got to hear that. That was lovely. Overall, I really thoroughly enjoyed all the speeches and the evaluations and table topics today. It was a great session for me. With that, I would like to end my evaluation and hand it over back to the TMOD Toastmaster Priya.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator Toastmaster Sanjana. So we are coming to the fag end of the meeting. I must confess that it was in my own selfish interest that I picked up the theme. I want all of you to inculcate two habits. One is to continue attending Toastmaster meetings, and second is to continue taking on roles so that Dhwani as a club meets and achieves its educational goals, and thereby the DCP points we are able to achieve. So that's a challenge for all of you. I know we're all busy with multiple things, but this is something which will pay dividends over a period of time. And I've seen it happen. I know the amount of change from day one of Dhwani to day I don't know which day today it is, but I can see a lot of change in myself and in other members within the club who have persisted, taken on roles, gone beyond the call of duty to pitch in, taking on XCOM roles, delivering speeches, even taking on timer role. I've always felt the timer role is so challenging and it improves your focus, it improves your attention to detail so much. So if that's an area of improvement, please do take up the timer role. You will really see the benefit after a couple of meetings. So with that, I would like to hand over the stage to the presiding officer and the president of Dhwani Toastmasters, Toastmaster Sanjana.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Priya. To the guests and the members, all our next meetings will be offline. It will be from in Transcend Toastmasters, and next week we have no meeting. We have an area contest. So please don't think it's a holiday for you. Please come to the area contest so that you can learn, grow, and encourage your fellow participants who are participating over there. With that, I believe the results are out, and I would like to hand it over to Prasanna to announce the results.
Okay, so now I will announce best prepared speeches. So the winner is Toastmaster Rohit. Congratulations.
Biryani.
Please give us biryani next time. And Aha Invoker. Oh my God, Rohit, you have to give us biryani. It's Toastmaster Rohit and then Toastmaster Prasanna. Then best role player. It is Toastmaster Priya for the role of Toastmaster of the Day, DM. Congratulations. Next, Taggle role player. That is listener, me, Toastmaster Prasanna. Thank you so much. Okay, so for the best table topic speakers, we have two winners. One is Toastmaster Priya and Toastmaster Lakshmi. Congratulations. And best evaluation, oh my God, it's Kirtan again. Wow, congratulations. Thank you. Over to Toastmaster Sanjana.
Thank you so much, everybody. With that, come to the end of the meeting, I declare this meeting closed. You can leave or stay for chit chat.